any conversation about time is you being unsatisfied with your life. That's the bottom line, what I discovered for me. So when you're debating time in a manner of, oh, I need more free time, I don't have time, also that. So let's rock and roll. Night Ignition podcast topic, free time, with amazing Emma and Ula by my side, Mr. JP for you here as well. And it topic is free time, but before we even go into that, right? How I see it, we need to look at time, how we perceive time as human beings. So we always start by, our lovely dictionary. So it says like this: as a noun, it's the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future regarded as a whole. And as a verb, it's a plan, schedule, or arrange when something should happen or be done. And there are a couple of more definitions. As a point of time as measured in hours and minutes past midnight or noon. And time is also measured the time taken by blah, blah, blah. We get the idea, right? So it's, as a noun is something and as a verb is something else. So as a verb, it exists like in plan, schedule, something that is arranged. And as a noun, it's something indefinite, which continues through past, present, and future. It's a funny thing. It's like continued progress of existence, which is really cool, right? I like this definition. All right, so let's look in how do we perceive time, right? So dictionary said one thing. So what do you two hear when somebody says time or free time?
Yeah, okay. So okay, one is that like procedure of, I don't know, minutes, hours, the thing we say it's time. And others for me is it's kind of like a currency to me. So if I am, I don't know, there's like always, okay, this no time or everything, or where would I invest my time, where I'm gonna put that. It's kind of like I play like it's something palpable, which is really not, and it makes me quite stressed. So yeah, but some kind of a currency in, I don't know, not palpable minutes and seconds and like, as I said, like existence. So yeah, that is time for me.
All right.
Do you hear me now? Okay.
We do, but
You're a little quiet.
not well. You're a little quiet.
Okay, just a second.
What did you do?
Messed up.
We heard you really good at the beginning.
What about now?
That is better.
Okay, good. So for me, time is something you cannot give back. When you give your time to someone or something, that's it. It reminds me of a movie. I don't know the name of the movie, but they had those numbers, how much time they have left, and you could buy the time. And this is actually what it is how we actually live it, but we don't think about it. It's like sometimes we people are like, we're gonna live forever, but the thing is, I can die tomorrow. I don't know, or I can live for 60 more years. So I think time is a big thing. It's we should value our time more.
All right, cool. So for me, it's like so I could go to relate to what Albert Einstein said about time, right? We all know that. It's just like sometimes I'm like, I think about it and I'm, it's kind of I don't even know how to say, but sometimes I'm like, it doesn't exist. It's just I'm present. It does not exist, right? So time only exists for us human beings. Like no dog is looking at the time and saying, oh, it's 6 o'clock. I have to eat now, blah, 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 right? or nothing else, no trees growing by the time. Oh, it's 4, right? So now my leaf can go out. So it's something only that we as human beings perceive, right? And it does give you orientation in this life, which is it's good. But it's funny when I'm on schedule or when I do things, it's like it's easygoing, the time that it's okay, it's 4 o'clock, I do this, it's 5 o'clock. But when you miss something or some emergency happen, or when you're behind your schedule, it's just like, oh my god, time is such a big pressure, man. It's like it exists like a big burden in that moment. So it's like, it depends. Like Emma, you shared, it depends on the what's going on actually, right?
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, like why I said for me time is, it doesn't exist, because it's like, you always have only now. You don't have in 1 hour, you don't have back 1 hour, you don't have back 5 seconds. Even what I said few seconds ago, it's gone. I cannot never have that back. So when you think about time like that, it's just you have this now, and whatever you will do with now, it's whatever you will do with now, and it doesn't mean anything. So think maybe that's also what Ula said, right? Be much more aware of, look, this is what you have. So you like a girl, go tell her that. Oh no, I will tell her in 2 hours. All right, but what guarantees you will have that she will not be with another guy in 2 hours? No, excuse, I have time, right? So all that. So it's funny, right? It's a funny conversation, and it's a good one to have. So it really depends on the mood. I would say for me, it's like it depends on whatever is going on. That's what I must say. But when you're really aware, it's just like, right? We always look at the nature of things or the topic. So with time, if I start, I would say the nature of time is purely to give you orientation and nothing else. Just like, all right, so I know what I'm going to be doing at 4, I know what I'm going to be doing at 5, or I know what I'm going to be doing like in 2 weeks at 5, because you put something in existence in schedule. And I think everything else, the nature of it is just that. But I don't know if I would add anything. I think everything else is made up by humans, like like how you perceive it. It's like, if it's a burden, all right, it's a burden. If it's so it actually gives you the option to you can perceive it as however you want, but in reality of things, it really does not exist. But and in the other hand, it is a measurable thing, which you can measure, how old you are, for say, right?
Yeah, and it brings in workability, I think, because it's so much easier, as you said, to schedule yourself, or even, I don't know, for anything. Like, time is really a great, I mean, it could be a great thing if when you can do stuff. So yeah, with someone else. Or
anything for you, Ula?
Well, I was thinking that I really saw time a bit differently, like when I was a teenager. Then I see it now, and also it's so relative, I can say when you're working out, right? 1 minute of burpees, it's not the same as 1 minute of, I don't know, plank. It seems like it. I know, if you hate burpees, it's like an hour. So it's really relative.
Yeah, right. And we also kind of, that's about time, and the topic is free time. So we can also check in here, right? So what does the free time mean for you? When you hear free time, what does that mean? Like, how do you perceive that?
I was always, even when I was a teenager, I was always to try to make as much free time as possible. For me, free time was like something that I enjoy, and it's not like necessary for me to do, and it's not an obligation because somebody else said to me I have to do it. Okay, So I didn't want to go to school because I thought it's just stupid. I can learn that by myself. So I was always looking for solutions, and because I was an athlete, I didn't go to school, and I said to my teacher that I had training, even though I didn't. So I did. I it For me it was stupid. I don't want to go to school. You should not tell me to go to school. That's just wasted time for me. So for me, free time is when I really enjoy myself, and um, how I planned my life and kind of put it together like puzzles is that I have as much free time as possible. So even when I work, for me, that's my free time.
All right, got that. So basically, okay. I don't know. I wanted to say something, but I lost the touch. It's it happens. Yeah. All right. Cool. Got it.
Okay. So I also I really connect with what Ula said, by this that, and I kind of separate the free time and the other time when, as she said, you're obliged to do something, and all this not pleasant stuff, all these things you deal with yourself, that you're uncomfortable, or even if you are comfortable, but it's something that it's like written down or in head, even, that this is a time set for something. While for me, free time is the time without any expectations, without any responsibility, without any
Obligations.
interruption, any that no one is in my time at that that time. Well,
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, cool.
so yeah, that I can be really just don't give a shit, what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna enjoy myself, or even lay on the couch or sofa or whatever. So that I have zero stuff to do.
Cool. All right, chat. Don't forget, right? Everybody who's listening, type in what does free time means for you, or how do you perceive time? Like, we're interested if because I think for each person is a bit different, right? So for me, I used to think like, free time, that's I need me time, right? Or free time, however you want to perceive, right? So I can't wait to have a free time so I would be able to game all the, stuff like that. When I was in school, when, I was back. But then later on, when I put the thought into it, I was like, shit, man, free time does not exist. What is free time? Like, what is the other time? It's like a chain time, or, it's like, what? Why are we doing this to ourselves like human beings? We need to describe everything, and when describing it, we kind of limited it down immediately, right? Free time. So everybody is now craving for free time, and then they have free time and they do nothing with it and make themselves wrong going to bed. Like I was like that as well, right? When I will have free time, I will do, this and that, and then I watch football game for a few of them for the whole afternoon, and I went to sleep and I was like, shit, man, this is it. That's my life. That's it. This is the max. So yeah, it's like I can connect here with Dula. It's like I don't need free time. Just look at my schedule, and there are different things that I do during the day, but all of them are coming from what I want to do. So it's like, when people ask me, where do you work? I'm like, I don't work. And everybody starts laughing usually. Ha ha ha. What do you mean you don't? Well, I don't work. I'm a prince, Why would I work? But yeah, but I do stuff, and I do get paid for them. Yeah, okay, that's it. But it doesn't for me occurs as a work. So yeah, and inside of them, it's also then I don't need free time. It's just like, oh, I need free time from my family, or I need free time from whatever I'm doing. So I think in that manner, it's just like it used to really exist for me to look back. I was also very, very as a kid had a lot of side school activities, like every day, 3 to 4 different ones. So it was, no time to be on the street, and the street would mold me because I was in all the other stuff. So I think I really started enjoying free time I mean, free time, right? when I come to university. For me, that was like, first, all the years of university, I was like, every semester, this time I'm going to every lecture, every exercise. We are 2 weeks into the semester, and there is no JP to be found at the faculty, except on the obligatory exercises. Everything else, or lectures, I was out, right? It's just like, it doesn't suit me, like what Ula shared, and that was a lot of free time. But seeing it the other way now, it was like a lot of, I wouldn't say wasted. I want to say wasted, but it was uninvested. It was not invested into anything that would actually develop me. So I was either gaming or sleeping. Maybe I did some sports, so that was cool, but I could do that anyway. So it was just like, yeah, a lot of sleeping and partying and stuff like that, to leave it out. But yeah, it was not invested into any. I didn't get much out of it, so to say, first 2 years of university. So, and yeah, because I was never really employed, like, everything come from a choice, so I didn't have to go to work. I didn't have this crave from free time. Oh, I can't wait to have a free time afterwards. But during the school, and then sometimes working for my mom's company, that was like, oh, I can't wait to have, 1 weekend off, no competition, like, and then nothing much happened on that weekend. It was just like, okay, I can. And in that weekend, in the meantime, I was like, I can't wait to go to competition, to move around a little bit, do something. So yeah, it's like, it's really a perspective. And then when I put thought into it, I was just like, what are we even talking about here? What am I even talking about? Free time, not free time? I think it's just a lot of burden when I was thinking about, I can't wait to have free time. In that moment, I wasn't really aware what I was doing now. What I'm doing now wasn't present because I was craving for something, like a donkey, catching the carrot. I would be happy when I will have free time. And then I have free time and I'm still not happy. How come? No, I will be happy when, I will have work time. So, all the time running in circles. So yeah, when I really put thought into it, I was just like, man, just do what you love. And then, like, I'm even in training now, Emma, like, we're in training not to have a time conversation at all. It's just like any conversation about time is you being unsatisfied with your life. That's the bottom line, what I discovered for me. So when you're debating time in a manner of, oh, I need more free time, I don't have time, also that one is just like, all right, I guess you're not satisfied with your life, right? Because otherwise you would be like, oh man, today I'm doing this, today at 4 I'm doing this, today at 9 I'm doing podcast. So, what would I during the podcast? If I would be thinking now, oh, I can't wait, to have a free time, it's just like I couldn't be here with you guys really, and share it authentically and being present to the conversation, because I would be all the time, I can't wait this to be over so I will have time for myself. Today was a really rough day, and it's yeah, no worries. It's kind of a, for me now, I just discovered it. You always have the conversation when you're not satisfied with your life. Then you have the time for an excuse. I don't have time. I don't have enough free time. I don't have me time, and it's just because it doesn't exist like it says in dictionary in schedule. Okay, that's for me. So
I wanted to, what you said about this free time, okay, if we put it that way, so I can share from my high school experience. Like my first 2 years, I had a lot of free time, so just school and everything else was free time. But this free time was used really poorly. I would go out partying, doing nothing, watching TV, eating, and so on. And it was nice at that time, but if you look long term, like after a year or two, it was nothing. It was complete mess. I didn't develop myself. I didn't grow as a person, anything. And then in my
Yeah, you
third
did.
and fourth, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh
You
yeah,
said
I
you were
did.
leading a lot. So no, it's just from the previous podcast you were sharing. So I can't.
True. I wasn't happy with myself. I was kind of addicted to the fast food and alcohol and cigarettes. And then in my third and fourth year, thank I don't know who, sports saved me. And my free time, I was using that free time to train. I was really enjoying it and to train to compete. And after those 2 years, you could see me being in way better shape, happy with myself, self-confident. My grades went from like the lowest point to the highest point. So I just want to say that we should look at it how we use our free time, because at the end, yeah, it's a small satisfaction, like every day maybe, but at the end of some period, it's it's no satisfaction, no payoff, no good outcome, no positive outcome. But if we do little things every day that are maybe not that pleasant or at the beginning, like training, at the end of the year, the outcome is really positive. So yeah, it may be it's not, even if it's free time, we can use it in very different ways.
Yeah, true that, right? And the funny thing is that we talk about free time and then we put something into that, and then suddenly it's not the free time anymore. That's the other irony of it, right? So suddenly, oh, I have to go to the gym. Like I said, like your mom said, okay, you have to go, and you were like, all right, I have to go, otherwise she'll shoot me or throw me out of the house, right? It's not like that, but that is what we also do, how we corrupt our own commitments from I want to do this. After a while it becomes I have to do this, and then it sounds like a burden, and then you need free time from commitment that you put into the schedule, which is like the really ridiculous when you look at it. So
Yeah. I got also present to something in this conversation, is that what I crave from as when I was a kid, when I was just happily running around all day, playing, enjoying life, as you said, that you don't experience time as that if you really enjoy what you're doing. And that now the free time I'm craving is actually this feeling of like empty mind, that there isn't any mess going on in inner conversations, tension, fear of commitments, and conversation about that, all that, stuff constantly happening that I need. I want the time off from this, like not free time as in an hour or whatever, just like 5 minutes would be enough if all of that inner conversation would shut up. That's the what I got right now. For me, that would be ideal free time, because often I would go, I don't know, I would have to study or anything like that, and I would say, okay, I'm gonna have now 2 hours of like completely free time without anything, and then I would go and I don't know, sit down, be on, I don't know, phone, watch TV, whatever. And in my mind it would be constantly going, oh my god, I'm wasting this time, I should be studying on, I should be doing something productive, as in like this, like fear of, if I stop doing productive stuff, I'm not like good, or good enough or anything in that way. So that's occurred to me. So
yeah, I think we are right. So Mrs. JP, and in between, Pesco Slow, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the family. Good to have you with us. So Mrs. JP also wrote, for me, free time was always not work time. So right now is a little bit different as I'm on maternity leave. Yeah, I know it's a little bit different, but you're still saying I need time for me, I need free time. So, and it's okay. I mean, it's human thing. It's not something that it's bad. It's not wrong to say I need a free time, or but it's just like we're looking at how we perceive it, and the funny things that are going around, so to speak, or ridiculous, however you want to take it. So yeah, Emma, to what you said, right? It is in the end about that. You just want to have a peaceful time, maybe a time of peace, right? So that there will be silence here, silence out there, and you will just enjoy the silence and be present to what is going on just at that moment, right? So some
Yeah.
people call that meditation, call that however you want to call it, right? So I think meditation is one of the things that pops just in my head, right? That would give you that, but it's not necessary so, right? So, and some people achieve that, while they're playing with their kids. So, it's just however, you train your mind to do whatever you feed the monkey, that's what monkey does, right?
Yeah.
So, so so yeah, one other thing is just that was in me was like, time, there comes this time for me, or a lot of this conversation is also, and I think we can involve it here as well as a free time, right? So we have all these adjectives for time: free time, me time, work time, right? And in the end, I would just, how I see it now is just that behind is that we're not being present to it, what actually flies out our mouth, and be present to, right, that it's all your choice, right? It's your life. Nobody forces you to do anything. It's like really forces you. Even people that put gun to your head, you still have a choice. You can oblige them or not. I mean, the consequences of one of the other. So but it's still a choice. There is yes or no always, and there is also choice when it's regarding time. So you can say I need free time, and immediately it's a booby trap. It's just gonna be I need free time, I need free time. Then you get a free time, and then it's not enough time. I need more free time, I need more that, better this, different that. And it's just all the time in this opinionating, I think, is just what robs us of, really being present to that actually all the time that exists is now. Just here and now. So Mike Wood is with us, and he said, for me right now, I have so much free time, it's crazy. I don't work right now, and I think of time differently. I hope I learn right now how to manage it better, so when I start working again, I will have free time and I spend it correctly and wisely. I agree with Mrs. JP, for me too. When I stopped working, it's free time, but where I have problem is I think a lot about work when I'm in my free time zone, and I hate that. Still looking how to not do that and enjoy my free time more relaxed. Yeah, it's a good one, right? So we can look into that actually, right? So one thing I would say, we always crave for what is not present. It's like it's one of the basic human things, I would say, right? So what I don't have is what I crave for, and then when you have it, you don't really appreciate it, but you're craving for again what's missing. So right, so it's kind of in that. So maybe you two can share as well. It's like if you have any response to that, it doesn't need to be only me. It's not Mr. JP podcast. It's Night Ignition podcast. It's Crazy Ladies and Mr. JP.
Well, my question to him would be, do you like what you do for your living? First.
But I mean, I know him, but Michael, you can answer here. I know he's a cook, and I know he enjoys that. So yeah, but it's a good question. Do you like what you do? Yeah. So answer to that one, so we can go on.
Yeah, do it fast.
Right, but maybe we can look into how to manage it. So I hope I learn right now how to manage it better, so when I start working again, I will have free time and I spend it correctly and wisely. So my answer here would be, and then you two can also give your answer, would be, look, you only have time however you perceive it, work time, free time, right? So that's one thing. So maybe just look from the basic. You have time, you have 24 hours per day, as we all do, right? So what you do with them, it's like it's on us, right? So let's say 7 to 8 hours we sleep. We need around 2 hours to do the basic needs for the body, another hour, to stuff the food in our mouth, and all that. So you're still left with, let's say, a good amount of hours, right? So if you work for 8 hours, there is still like 5 to 6 hours, so to speak. So whatever you do with them, it's on us. But I really encourage you to choose it, right? So you choose the work that you want to have, and then it's not like, inside the work that you choose, you also choose your boss, you choose your co-workers, and when you come from that place, that is not stress anymore. I mean, then we can have another podcast on what stress is, but it's actually how you perceive it. So to manage time is to have your schedule open. Maybe you hear from me when we game, I told you when in the week I'm free to play game, and it's just because I arrange my week, on Sunday or Monday, I arrange my whole week. So then, I have some free spots so I can take random things in. But, you put in when you will do something, and then the trick is that you follow it. So I also have in my schedule time with Ursha and Tai. It's it might be funny for someone, but, I have it in because if I don't have it in, so I will still do something else. And that's what happened in the beginning when we got Tai, when he was born. So it's like if it's in schedule, it's also for me, what I trained myself is that I'm present to the thing that I'm doing now. So if I have gaming in, I will game. But then if I have lunch, I forget, gaming is out, so I'm present to the lunch. And then if it's time with Ursha and Tai, I'm with them, right? Yeah, sometimes some calls happen, stuff like that. It can throw you off, or you can say, look, I will take this call or I won't take this call. It's another choice. And it's a really powerful thing if you're present to the choice, that you choose what you do. It's like no other people are ever, how to say, penetrating into your time if you don't want to. That's the thing. Right? So if I get a phone call, I can choose to answer it or not. And I have some policy with me. It's like, I see who is calling, and then I think about what might be going on. And if I don't see that, it could be that important, I said to myself, all right, I have scheduled. Some people I know, they have scheduled time for communication in the day. They only communicate during some hours of the day with random things, and everything else is scheduled, right? I'm focused on this now. And that gives a whole another perspective to life and how to approach it. And, then it's like you don't need free time because it's in schedule. You don't need work time because it's in schedule. You don't need any time. Everything is in schedule. And some people say, all right, if I have it in schedule, then I feel like I'm in prison. That's I heard that a lot, right? Yeah, but, then everything is in, there is no spontaneous thing. Well, I mean, I only have in time with Ursha and Tai. So whatever we will do will be spontaneous if we did not agree to go visit somebody. So that is, another excuse not to be organized or not to be, responsible for your time. Yeah. So yeah, Mike said being present is the key. Yeah, I mean, managing time is not that hard, I would say, but it is challenging. Depends on how you approach life. So if we look at successful people, most of them, I know a guy who have scheduled, so I was on a call, so on a conference call, I think 3 months ago, and some guy asked him, hey Per is his name, hey Per, when can we talk for 15 minutes? And he said, in 2 weeks, Friday at 1 p.m. call me. Because his life is he has schedule, he has family, he has work, there are, things that are prioritizing. So, if it's a random thing comes up, he says, call me in 2 weeks. Anything else before, for me, is and he has no problem with that. Just he's managing his time. And, it's also a lot about putting value to yourself, I would say. You value yourself, what you're up to, and then you see if you can take extra things in or not. And that is maybe also related to hard to say no. So yeah, all the stuff like that might pop out. So what about you two? I know you two also are working with time management. So how do you manage time?
You just when you were talking, I remembered one very interesting story I heard from a very successful man, and he was saying like that. He was visiting his mentor and business mentor, and they were sitting in the living room, and somebody rings the bell, and he was like, are you gonna open that? I mean, you're gonna go see who's at the door? And he was like, no. He was like, what the fuck, is going on? Is somebody else gonna open? And then again, ding dong. And he was like, what's going on? Why are you not opening the door? And he was, I don't have an appointment with anyone, so I'm not gonna open the door because they're interrupting my time. I didn't make an appointment, or I don't know, and he said even if his parents would come at one time that it's not appropriate for him, he would not open the door. I was like, oh my God, but now I understand it, because if you let everyone else to actually play your movie, like your life is a movie, you never know what is going to be played. It might be a horror or a comedy, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point, right? Just like what I said before, you painted now for us, which is great. It's like, it's your choice, however you want to live, your perspective. Like, one guy is all about, I know that I follow, it's like he was always saying, perspectives, man. All in life is about perspectives. How you perceive things, how the things occur to you, that's how you're gonna roll out. If you are seeing a problem, you will have a bunch of problems. If you are thinking about time management and you see, oh, that's a hard thing, well, that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna play out as a hard thing, right? And you will have hard time following. You will have bunch of challenges. You will have bunch of breakdowns. Nothing is gonna work because it exists for you as a hard thing.
Yeah, and I wouldn't only say like as a hard thing, but if you like how it was for me, because I also I went to do like a certain program to kind of get my time management and everything, because I felt like my time was just totally messed up. All of the stuff was spontaneous, and as you said before, like some people, and that was me, is when you mention to them that they should, I don't know, plan, that it would be workable for them to plan their activities and work and just have stuff even written down, I would be like, oh no, like, yeah, that's gonna my freedom is endangered by planning everything. My spontaneous time will just suddenly disappear. And I handled with that a lot. And I started with like little steps. Like, okay, first stuff was really, and I would like to go a little bit back to Mike Wood with this the comment about how to schedule correctly and wisely. Like, that doesn't exist. It's never gonna be correctly and it's never gonna be wisely. It's just gonna be, as we said before, are you a master of your own time, and are you enjoying stuff you do? Like, do you have any context, any idea why, what's it gonna fulfill when you do something? So I think that was first really important to me, to get that I am doing stuff, even if it's my studying, if it's faculty stuff, or I don't know, my personal growth stuff, or even visiting grandparents, whatever, that this is going to fulfill on something I stand for in my life, right? So if first I just started with this Google calendar, that it would, I don't know, show the stuff up and, beep. And I don't know, maybe not all of the people are like visual, but I am very, very visual. If I see stuff in different colors, I'm gonna, be very relaxed by it. So it also helped me then to get out of the Google Calendar to my own planner. And it really brings so this inner peace when I can put stuff down, that I put it down, I put down the hour, the time, whatever, and suddenly it's, it goes from my head. So this is now something that I don't have to deal with all day. Because before, I don't know, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go to the to coffee with a friend on like in 3 days, and I would then forget that, and suddenly another person would be like, oh, do you want to meet at that time? And I'd be, yeah, sure, when you forget the earlier stuff, and then suddenly you're double booked, and it brings all the, I don't know, anxiety, and oh my god, now I have to rebook someone. So I had a lot of these inner conversations. Like it just made a whole lot of mess, like a giant soup of shit that was going on in my brains. And it really brings me, it brought me a lot of that inner peace. Because when you can put stuff out of your head, you don't have to carry them with you. And it's like the most relaxing thing ever. And then you just, if I feel like, oh my god, I'm forgetting someone, I just open up the planner and I'm like, oh right, I am not, it's okay, or I have that now. And so I would say that is also what works for me really great, to acknowledge stuff there and write them down. So
Yeah, it's that's really cool thing that you said. It really is. So we as human beings have a lot in our mind, and then when you talk to really successful people, it's like they have everything put somewhere. It's like they have things in schedule, or they have written the ideas down. So and then they have time in their schedule to dwell in the ideas. It's just some people are calling it the idea time. So booked on Thursday from 4 to 6, and he sits down on Thursday from 4 to 6, and he's all in his ideas. You cannot interrupt, he's in that. So it's just like, maybe it also comes for what you just said, Mikey. Sometimes for me it's hard to say no, but I did learn something. When I say no to someone, I say yes to myself, which it flies, right? I don't know, I'm just like that. When you say no, you say no. That's all that really happens. But it can't translate into you say yes to yourself, or you say yes, you are sticking with what you're committed to, right? So it always happens. Like the easiest thing for us, I mean, we can go into us guys, right? So you're committed to watch a football game, and then a friend pops by and says, hey, let's go do that. And then you go do that, but you know that you really want to watch that you don't want to be, but you don't want to be rude to your friends. So all that mess up things comes up, and then it's like suddenly everything is a burden, and thinking about time is a burden, and just like coming back to whenever you have a conversation about time, it just means you are dissatisfied person, unhappy, or something like that goes on. Because otherwise, I'm really into this. I have a lot of projects, like besides streaming, and family to be, and work on myself, and standing for other things, like with the teenagers, and about certain work in Slovenia. It's just like, if I wouldn't have it scheduled down, it's like just Emma said, everything would be a mess. I would be 4 times booked. I would want a game, be in podcast, be with Ursha, and at a certain Zoom meeting all at the same time. And it would be just like, it's like a platform to have a disempowered life, to be unsatisfied and making yourself wrong all the way, and saying this life is hard. I cannot manage time. I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. I'm like, miserable. And it's not about that you can manage time. It's just like, what also might help you, it's like Emma said before, whatever you're doing to fulfilling something, to I don't know, have a game in life, or what you want to fulfill with your grandma, like what kind of relationship you want to have with your grandma. And then when you go visit your grandma, you're there to fulfill that what you want to fulfill with her, instead of just going whizzing so she won't feel alone, or because she invited me and I have to go, so I'm not a bad grandson, my bad. So some people that I know, they're having in schedule by by what they will do at that time, also written down, like the Emma said, the context or what they want to fulfill or what that means to them. So they go like workout, and the game with workout is, to be a fit daddy. So then they have written besides it workout, being a fit daddy. And then they get immediately present, all right, I'm working out because, that's my goal, to be a fit daddy. That's what I'm committed to. Or, doing the podcast, I want to contribute to the society. So, all right, cool. That's what we're doing here. So that also helps when you put down the schedule and when you see your next appointment, to see, why that appointment is in your calendar. And that really like takes you to a whole another level, and makes you also present to, like, the context of that appointment is immediately present, and then you're present to that and nothing else jumps into your mind. So it's like a whole philosophy behind managing time. But then you just got to find out what works for you, right? So what works for me might not work for Emma. Emma might be lost in that. She would be like, oh shit, that's, what are you doing? And me, it's like, it's a simple system. So, and vice versa, right? So, Ula, anything you want to add on?
Yeah, what works for me, what helps me is I want to become that kind of person. Let's say,
give us a real
I want to
thing.
become, I want to become super fit. Okay,
All right.
let's do that. And then every time I want to do something, I ask myself, would that person do that?
Mm-hmm.
So this I want to become. If I put myself here already, would I do this that I want to do now?
Mm-hmm.
And if the answer is no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something that this person would do.
Amazing.
So that's the only way for me to actually get to that new Ula.
Cool what you're sharing. Yeah, guys, look, to be honest here, it's really about, when we human beings are born, there is an empty sheet, so to speak, right? There is a clean slate. And then as a kid, you get raised by, and there's influences from the circumstances, from the environment, and your own experience, right? How you start seeing. And then you're shaped. And when you come to the stuff like, I don't know, I cannot time manage. Like, every time I put up a time management or I want to have free time, something happens. It's just because, the software, if I can say it like that, in your head, is programmed for you to be upset all the time, or for you to, feel bad all the time. It's just, it's a human thing. Don't ask me why, but it's like any human thing, we are, made to feel miserable. That's where we feel safe. To survive mode, to survive life, not to live life. So basically, even about free time, you just need to be responsible for the shit that is going on in your head. And then, you have these reroutes, or how to say, cheats or hacks, or, change the software, however you want to call it, like what just Ula said, right? So your automatic way of being, want to eat chips, or popcorn and drink beer. But your goal is to be a super fit. So in that moment, you can go from here to chips, beer, and popcorn, or you can ask yourself from the future, all right, standing in the future, being super fit, what do I do? And then you're like, all right, I'm sleeping 8 hours a day. I don't eat certain types of food. I don't drink certain types of drinks. And I say what I'm going to do when I'm going to do. And then you bring that here in the present and do that. And that will bring you to that goal that you want to have. It's just like, that. Unfortunately, that's how it is. We have nothing to do with this. It's like we were born into this. We were late for the party when the whole human process was made, So we were born into this. So, but we have a choice. Let's say the animals, they don't have a choice. They're just, they are living by whatever drives them, right? They, they cannot go like, so today at 5, I will, I want to be super fit cat. And but I'm gonna eat now. It's like, yeah, they're super fit in the summer and super fat in the winter. It's like a survival thing for them, you know. And we have other things. So just look at, what will get you to it. So, and maybe really take a note. Anytime you have a time conversation, when it's not about scheduling yourself, everything else is complaining. This is how it is. If you if you took for reality, it's like, I don't have free time. Poor me. I'm a victim of my own choices. And when you're really real to yourself, it comes to that. You're a victim of your own choices, of circumstances, So, and look, I know that there are people who, are having hard time to, and here it is, another expression, you're having hard time. So keep on dwelling in that, hard time, that they, let's say, don't have, the best circumstances to go out, but still there are people who did get out. And if one person does, it means everybody can. But it's just about choices, commitments, and, what are you up to? And today I was also coached on, breakdowns in schedule. You schedule something and then it doesn't fulfill, and, and then it was said to me, look, if you play big games in life, you will have breakdowns. But breakdowns are the source, to whatever you need to transform or, start to see differently to get you to the next level. So if you don't have breakdowns, you don't play big enough game. You're playing safe, you're playing small, and, and then it's just up to you who you want to be. You want to be somebody who is playing big and go fully out there and, risk, or you want to play small. Whatever you do, there is no bad or wrong here, or right or wrong. It just is your choice. So, but you can easily see who is following his dreams and who not, because the one who is not is complaining, and the one who is like a solution taker. So that's what I would say. And it always comes back to time. Yeah, when you say to people, yeah, well, then go do that. Oh, I don't have time, man. You know how much, it's always something, right? It's either time or money, two most common excuses, so to not do things. So, yeah. When you go into time conversation, it's like a never-ending story, or it can be ends really quickly. Just like, look, bro, you're complaining. Shut the fuck up and do what you want to do. Stop talking about it and start doing. So yeah, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, right? It's just hard to add up something, because, right, all of us here three, maybe it would be interesting having somebody who doesn't have, right, the or it's not managing their time really well and hear all that. But from our experience, I could say, there was all the time, it was this conversation, like it's there. I don't have time, right? This is what I want to say, right? So when people say to you, like, you come up and you say, hey, do you want to meet me? And they go like, oh, I don't have time. I find that the cheesiest excuse that can human thing make up, right? It's not that you don't have time, man. You have 24 hours per day, as every single person on this planet, right? And we are so cowardly set up that we are not willing to say to that person, I don't want to meet with you now, or look, I have another appointment. Let's make an appointment sometimes in the future. But we don't do that. We go like, I don't have time. And on the other side, we buy it as well. Okay, they don't have time. Okay. And we know that's bullshit, right? Because we're also saying it, I don't have time. Of course, I do have time, but, you're not prioritized enough. Or, I have something else booked, so let's book another time. But if that doesn't come up, look, I don't have time now because, I have this appointment, so let's meet on Friday at 5. It's just bullshit. And it's a bullshit because we all did it in our lifetime. We all did it, and sometimes we still do it, and we also hear it. And we like, we human beings have bullshit detector. We just don't call it, like, we don't call people out on that because, we are also the cheesiest, sneakiest one who also use it. So, if I use it, I won't call it out, right? So it's also that with time, like, having this. Oh, I don't have free time. Then you have free time. People call you, hey man, do you want to meet up? Oh no, I don't have time. I have something. Okay, give up on each other, right? So
Yeah, that wording, yeah, with all of the time, yeah, I don't have time, all of that. I think it's just like the excuse, and like the guilty one, time, we like objectify it,
objectified,
like, yeah, it's like that's the guilty one. We take away our responsibility. The time is the guilty one. We don't have the time, and yeah, I mean, what? Like, again,
right.
if you go back to our responsibility
Podcast,
like
yeah.
podcast, yeah, well, guys, look at it, go look at it, and you will get it.
Yeah, right. It's that simple. I mean, it really is, right? It's simple, but it's not easy, because the software or survival or automatic way of being or ego or whatever you want to call it, it won't let you, right? It won't let you, I mean, it's not easy for any successful guy to do what they did. At one point, it was very hard for them, and it still are. You can look at any successful person on this planet. They always hit a hard time in their life. Let's call it a breakdown. So, and then they know they have a choice. They can complain about it. Nothing would change, They would be getting worse and worse at their field, and it would be just, all for nothing, so to speak, right? And how cool is to hang out with somebody who complains all the time, right? It's like, these are the best people that we can spend time with, right? And then on the other hand, you can just choose a solution, right? All right, cool. Something was missing, I guess. That's why we didn't perform as we did. So let's see what's missing and add up, instead of going into guilt or excuse or complain, right? And just what you shared, like, yeah. Time and money are two the easiest way of excuses we people have not to do something bigger in life. It's just like, oh, I don't have time, or oh, I don't have money, which is, I mean, I get that in these times with the COVID, we can come up with I don't have money, because some people really don't have it because they can't work and they can't have it as much as they wanted to. But we all know also, if you're really committed to something and really want to do something, you come up with a way. And there are ways to earn money at any given point in time in human history. There was a way. Maybe you didn't see it, but you can definitely. You can Google nowadays. You can Google anything. So, and Google will tell you, the ways you can earn. Then it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. But you cannot say, I can't earn it. It's like, yeah, you can. But do you want it, And it's the same with time. Yeah, you do have time, but, do you want to give it to that? And then to go back to free time is also a tricky one. It's like you have a free time, and then you come to have a free time and you want to relax and your mind just go nuts.
Yeah.
Right? You just go, it's monkey time. You're thinking all about that. And then you're like, no, this is a free time. I will not write down any ideas. It's chill time, And his mind goes like boggling. And then it's like, oh, it's 6:00. I have to go now, right? And then you're like, why I didn't write down those ideas? What it was? I think it was they were good. Yeah, never mind. It goes by, right? So it's just like hooked up, or it's a chill time. So I think that's also like we're just setting a pitfall after a pitfall, to not just play it big and stop having excuses and leave it, for God's sake, or however you want to call it. Leave it or have an excuses. And time, money, and what else is there are the biggest one there is, right? The easiest guilty ones. Like, hey, it's not me, it's time. Don't have anything with me. Look at the time, right? I mean, man,
Exactly.
Right? Is it like that? And then you also come to, when you want to do something and it occurs like, oh, that will take so much time. Oh my god, right. So if I want to have 6 packs, that means 1 year of, being committed to exercise 4 times per week. Are you kidding me, bro? That's such a long time. It exists like, Mount Everest, or if you have a task to do, right? Let's say you need to do something or study, right? For Emma, she shared before, just like, oh, that will take so much time, and then she thinks about it, how much time that will take. So if I see it right, I need 100 pages, so 5 to 6 days. Oh my god. Okay, I'll start tomorrow. I start. I calculated it, right?
On Monday.
Or on Monday, I'll start on Monday. And then you have like, the funny thing is, and then you think all the way to Monday or to that point, what you wanna, right? Set it out.
It's a random chat for everyone questioning what's
yeah,
going on.
we're looking at the chat, and it's just like, yeah, I'll ask them. Thank you to put it out, Guru. I'll go right after today's stream. I'll go and check what happened. So thank you. Cool. I mean, we'll ask the teams of the sea. Yeah.
But what I also got present to is that this conversation about time is really not a conversation about time, but it's conversation about our lives. Like, and every time you say, oh, I don't have time, you're just ready to play dead. And I feel like they're like, no,
Yeah, what I want to say is like, you're thinking about it, thinking, and like your Emma showed in the meantime, right? The time is passing by. Instead of doing it right now, you're thinking about it and putting really, mind and planning and, scheduling everything, instead of just do it, right? Do it now and see what happens. So, man. It's just that when we're all the time there, it's just like so much time. Oh my god! Right?
Yeah, and being like all the time that we have to put some kind of our like ducks in a row. Like we don't even know. Like maybe tomorrow we're not here anymore. So why the hell do we stress so much about this? Like. Dude, it makes no sense that we make all of this conversation about time, like, oh my god, it's so like excruciating, but we're not gonna. It doesn't save any time for us. We're not getting any more, like Ula said at the beginning with the movie, when they also, you can buy time, you can sell time, stuff like that. But this isn't the real life. We're not gonna get any more, and we have no idea for how long we're here. How long we're gonna live, so might as well just enjoy your time. So
yeah, right. But there is this big factor, right, why we are not enjoying, and we will cover it in the next podcast. That will be right about fear, which is that's gonna be a huge one. So you guys wanna hook in and share it with everybody, because it's gonna be a huge one. We all had big breakthroughs in life about fear. And we could say keep on having them, right? And I can say we know how to deal with that, and we will not give you know-how, but we will actually share from experience, like everything until now. So tune in next Monday at 1. And it's also right. It's like you're afraid of something, and then you don't have time. It's like that takes so much, right? What if I actually succeed? What if, right? So yeah. I mean, time is a funny conversation, guys. Hope you got something from it. It's basically about how you perceive it. That's how it is, right? That's the simplest way. So if however you will perceive time or anything in life, that's how it will happen. That's how it will go. That's how the set of actions that you will take will go into that occurring. So, if you keep on complaining you don't have free time, you will take actions that you won't have free time, and nothing that you will do will actually be about, having a free time, because free time, it's like a really loose term, and it doesn't define anything, and it's just gonna be, you're gonna be feel bad afterwards. Most people that are taking free time or time off, then they feel bad about themselves. It's like, oh, I took a time off and I gained for 2 hours when, I could be working out, and I want to work out, but I didn't. Right? Obviously have conversations again. So it's all about you going in loops, or you can cut them like, Ula gave a great hack how to cut it, right? Put yourself in a time in future who you want to be, and then bring that being and action into presence, and it will take you to that goal much faster and with ease, with like, you just no problem. It just is. Yeah, you might have a hard time, you might get a headache, you might feel bad, but you will do it. Because it's not about how you feel right now, but it's about, who you are right now and who you want to be. So stop complaining about time, please. It's about time to stop complaining about time. And Ula is so happy. I would love to have clients like that. Yeah. They wouldn't complain about time. That would be so awesome. Ula share us from like, right? And then we conclude the official part. It's just how it is for you to, being a coach, dealing with people who, maybe to look on the other sides, like, right? So we, being the one that complains, usually never step into the shoes of how it is for other people to listen to us. So Ula, give us a feedback how it is for you to listen to people who are complaining about time.
Can I use you?
You can use me. Go.
Remember last training session we had, and we were doing apps, and I gave you an exercise, and you were like, how many? I was like, 1 minute. No, just give me a number. I'm not gonna do for 1 minute. Remember?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something like I don't know. Oh, that's too much. I cannot do it, and they do it anyway. Like too much time. I don't know, 5 minutes of something. But the other thing is that's okay, because I see that you are suffering a little bit. It's hard, and you just want to complain a little bit. So it's gonna be easier. But the problem is when people are not making time for the training. So we make a schedule, and they don't show up. Oh, today I don't have time. I broke my nail. I can't come. Things like really stupid shit. And it's for the first time it's okay, but then you are like, okay, should I be wasting my time? For people who are not ready to move forward. And I actually started to communicate with people. You remember we had that conversation also. You shared it last time, I think. I told you like, okay, are you gonna commit to it, or we are wasting both times, And you said, yes, I'm gonna commit to it. And I was like, okay. But before that, I didn't communicate about that, and I was just like, I'm here for you. I'll do anything for you, But they don't make time for themselves, or they don't choose how they're gonna spend that time, basically. And I'm just like praying, God help me.
All right, awesome insight, right? And then what usually happens is like then they complain how you were hard coach, how you didn't want to take them in, when actually and they paid you, but they were willing to pay you, and you still didn't want to take them in. And that is, I think, then the difference, right? If you do something with love and passion, it's like you won't accept any kind of money, right? It's everything else is also as important. And I think that is really cool. Gives you a heads out, the pointers, what you can do about it, how, to perceive it, and about free time and time in general. And what is also the consequence of, if you're complaining, especially, usually it comes to the things that we want to move, but then we don't want to commit to them fully, or we're already loaded up with tons of excuses why and how not to do it, and evading it. And then you just got to choose, you're going to be the person that complains, or you're going to be the person that plans. That's it. I mean plans, fulfill the plans. So that's it for tonight's podcast, guys. See ya in a week with the topic of fear. Crazy Girls and Mr. JP out.